CFC Fan TV, I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Sophie Rose, and we are going to be discussing a pretty painful question.
Really painful question.
The question is, and I really do want your thoughts on it, so please comment below and let us know. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel right now. But my question for you, and for you, should Antonio Conte leave today? Yes or no?
And
did you say yes?
I said yes.
There we go. Thank you for watching this video.
Yeah, but listen, I don't say it with like any sort of happiness.
No.
I think Antonio Conte is a fantastic manager. I think he would have had a lot more to give us in the future. But when these managers come to Chelsea, they should know they're not going to get the signings they in particularly want unless they're both in sort of agreement. And I can imagine there's some players Conte wanted the board didn't act quick enough to get, or just it failed to get, and that's sort of angered him. And I feel like he thought he probably deserved a little bit more, not respect, but he deserved a bit more of time of day, considering he took a team last season and won the league, and we really probably shouldn't have done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He put all his sort of effort into that, and I always think, when you've got players that shouldn't have particularly won a league that season because of, whether the team's not set out well or whatever, that the season after, you're not going to, the same thing's not going to repeat itself. You need to have reinforcement. You need to have better players coming in, or just players that fit more into the team. A couple more leaders, whatever. And he didn't get any of that. And what we're seeing now is sort of a result of somebody who is clearly peed off, clearly doesn't want to be at the club. He has no heart in it. It's all about a money situation now, isn't it, for him? And it's sort of affecting our results on the pitch. Yeah,
massively. I agree with everything you said, but I do think that because of your love for Antonio Conte, for what he has achieved, I think that you've been quite generous to him with that appraisal. While I concede that you are right on a lot of fronts, I think that he isn't completely innocent. Okay. I think that Antonio Conte has been complicit in our disastrous season. Now, you've got to think we've had 3 wins this calendar year. That is just not good enough. And I think that Conte has forever been sniping at the board. He's had a lot to say in press conferences. All that suffering stuff I found weird. When he was asked if he was the right man to turn it round, his answer was, I can't predict the future. You just think, just come on, Antonio. Like, you did an incredible thing last year. It was one of the best seasons I've ever had following Chelsea. I loved it so much.
It was great.
93 points is outrageous. 30 wins is outrageous. Taking a team from 10th to 1st is outrageous. But this season he's got it so wrong so many times, and I think the way that it stands at the moment, you've got to look at what's going to happen. We're going to Southampton on Sunday. I can't really see a positive result there.
And that's a huge deal because they've had a terrible season for a good club. They've had a terrible season, and they don't really seem to be getting out of it. Even against Arsenal at the weekend, they fought hard, and still they couldn't even pick up 1 point of that.
But and as much as I'm dreading going to Southampton and watching us like nick a draw or something like that, what's really upsetting, and I think that this is a fact, is as things stand, we can't win the FA Cup.
No, we can't. Every fan I asked at the weekend was like, "Oh no, I don't think we
can't win the FA Cup."
No, and how serious is that we don't think that we can beat a team that's about to get relegated?
Yeah, and I think even if we do, the real final is actually taking place in the opposite semi-final.
Yeah.
Because the winners of the United Tottenham game will certainly think that they're going to eventually.
And it's a bit strange. In the game against West Ham, I feel like we're watching a team that we have some of the highest quality players in our team. Hazard. Willian. I mean, the list could just go on, but they don't really seem to have much motivation to play for anything, which I understand. But I think a lot of it is, if we had a manager that was really installing in them, listen, it still counts, still matters. We've still got a lot to play for. You want to, keep your form so that when we go into these semi-finals, because Southampton are watching our play, and they're probably watching all our errors and what they can do to beat us,
exploit us.
Yeah, 100%. And we're not going to be ready for that if we have a manager that isn't really wanting. He's not really there. He's there physically, mentally. He's not really there.
I know. And do you know what else really disappointed me with him? When we went into that game against West Ham, we knew that the league form didn't matter. We can't make the Champions League. Anyone who thinks we can is a huge optimist. But the reality of it is, we can't make the Champions League.
No.
So why not use this opportunity to blood some of the youth? We have a rare gift of some dead Premier League games. We're playing West Ham at home, we're playing Southampton away, we're going to be welcoming Liverpool to Stamford Bridge. these games, the result means very little to us. The performance, however, and what you can achieve via that game could be massive. Like if you give Hudson-Odoi like starts now to the rest of for the rest of the season, that could be a wonderful player that you have at your disposal next year, because he's going to have a chance to play at Stamford Bridge. The crowd will be fully supportive, and the jeopardy won't be massive, so he can make a mistake if it happens.
Yeah.
And Hudson-Odoi is one of many.
Yeah, but I don't feel as if Antonio Conte
No, he'll never
wants
do that.
no, he doesn't want to do that. And does it help his situation? I mean,
No, because he doesn't care about the long term of Chelsea Football Club.
No, exactly. And it, like I say, it is a massive shame, and I don't doubt that he was, fully into it last season. But it's getting to the point now where we're still paying to go watch these games. You never demand 3 points every single game, but you demand a really good performance. You want the players to turn up for the games, and I think we can all agree at the moment that we're definitely not seeing that happen. And we're just seeing some players that are just very unorganised, don't really know how to play to their best because it's just not going the way we need it to go.
And the other thing with Conte is he's very good for a plan A.
Yeah, plan B,
he doesn't have a plan B. Like the substitutions come with 10 minutes left if we're lucky. If things aren't working, you have to be a bit pragmatic and you have to make a change. And things aren't working at the moment. And as a result, he's doing the same old thing. We're not going to win the cup. So there's just no point in prolonging this for anyone.
Yeah,
if he were to leave now, say today, thank you, Antonio, grazie, but you're done.
Yeah.
You bring someone in, all of a sudden, this whole shape of this season could completely turn, because I do believe that this group of players is excellent. I do believe they're a very, very talented team.
And that's what's frustrating.
Who can win the cup.
Yeah, but it's frustrating when you see players that are this good, that cost this much money, and they cost this much money for a reason because they are so good, and they are not playing to even like 50% of what I think they can play to. That's we're looking at the game with West Ham, and it starts off well, and then all of a sudden you just see a team that sort of falls apart, you know what I mean? And we just don't really look like the same Chelsea, and it's so depressing. And the atmosphere around the ground, because I interview fans, most weeks, if not every week, it's just like, can we just get it over and done with now? Because people are that frustrated. Even though we've still got a chance to win a trophy, fans aren't feeling uplifted, they're not feeling like inspired by these performances. And okay, fine, we are nearly at the end of the season, but when you've still got a trophy to play for, when you've still a chance of winning something in the season,
silverware, Wembley,
there should still be like some sort of motivation, or some sort of like there should be high spirits around the stadium, and fans aren't feeling that, and that only comes from everything that's going on with the manager, everything that's going on with the team at the moment, and it's just a bit depressing on all fronts.
It's such a shame, because do you know the other thing that you can point out where it's just not right? If you look at that Eden Hazard performance, I think Eden Hazard was a little bit unlucky yesterday, because I think he was robbed of a fair few assists. But I can't even remember his last goal.
Yeah.
He's not on form, he's not playing as well as he can. He should be one of the best players in the league.
But I think with Hazard, I think if things aren't going well within the team, if he can see things are on a bit of decline, I think he just gets a bit lazy. I don't mean
but
lazy.
A manager should be able to take one of the most gifted players that has ever played in the Premier League. A manager should be able to take that, the raw minerals of that, and make sure that he's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And I think that somebody comes in now, they get Hazard playing well again, we potentially win the cup. Things stay as they are, we end the season with nothing.
Which is a crazy shame. If we end the season with no trophies, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it?
As a season?
Yeah.
The season's been an abomination. It's been terrible.
So out of 10?
It's been terrible. I think there's been 3 highlights all season. 3 enjoyable experiences all season. Tottenham away was superb.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid away
It was great, amazing.
was brilliant. And Manchester United at home was brilliant.
Yeah, and that's
it. It's been a terrible season.
And it's a shame, actually, to be fair, that Atletico away game is probably some of the best football I've seen us play. And it's a shame that I can barely remember it now because of how bad the rest of the season's been. You want to at least be able to remember your best highlights of it. But anyway, we've rambled on for long enough. A comment below: do you want Conte to stay? Do you want him to go? I know it's a very sensitive subject and it's causing arguments all over the park, and we don't say this with any happiness.
It's a terrible state.
We're mad that it hasn't worked out, but I think there just comes a time when it was just time to go. So as Claude says, time to go.
Yeah.
So the moment has passed. Anyway, comment below: do you want him to stay? Are you Conte in? Are you Conte out? And we'll see you tomorrow.